Welcome to the transformational conversations of DC James, the head coach.
This is DC James, the head coach, coming at you guys with Head Coach 24/7. And this is about transformational stories and strategies. And my guest today is Seben Griffin the third. And of course, he has the fourth. So he's definitely in the succession planning. Incredible sons. I've had an opportunity to meet them. A wonderful family overall. Folks orientated around just doing family things, support. That's why I resonate really well with him, because of that whole interaction. When one person has an activity or specialty, the whole family supports them. And of course, that's just encouraging that whole group, tribal group think in that healthy respect. Everybody's individuals, but they're all interdependent. And so that's a powerful testimony to you, Griff. And of course, as an entrepreneur and a coach, a mentor, a minister, it's just a pleasure to have you on. And I know, of course, we had some technical difficulties, but that don't stop warriors. That don't stop fighters at all. So we just get up and do one more again. And if that's two more games, three more games, we're going to do it. But I think we locked in for this one. But I want to thank him for coming out. And he's going to share some things on his heart as it regards food. And I think the last time we spoke to about it, that I think we were talking about naming this Foods So You Don't Hurt No More, eating so you don't hurt no more. I think, was that accurate?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, living without food. You're basically eating to live so you're not living with pain.
Pain, yeah. Eating to live, pain in the body. Not living without pain. And so in our comings and goings, we've been able to kind of share things that, of course, as we're at an age, me and him are almost close to the same age, me being in the fitness space. And of course, even having two sons who are athletes and active, it's really, really important as far as our health, our longevity, our quality of life. So I want Seben to really, really share his heart of what he's been experiencing, especially of late, because it's all been a journey, bro. You know, trial and error, but it's good when you get on some of them trials and they come through, and it's like, I know it's in your heart. You want to share and you want to give some, I think, relief. And so with no further ado, I'm going to release that to you to just share this journey, share about yourself, and then, of course, share this journey of where you've gotten to this place to where you don't hurt no more through, the revelation of the nutrition that you take in.
All right. Well, as he said, I'm Seben Griffin III, married, 2 kids, as he's, so eloquently said. And I also have to say he has a wonderful family. Love, meeting them. Well, actually, me and my wife knew his wife, from worship service. And when I saw her next to him, I'm like, okay, I guess he all right then, He must be all right.
By relations. Oh God. Okay. I'll take that. I'll receive that.
But yeah, from the first time I met DC, I said, okay, this is a quality guy. He knows what he's doing. And he's focused and, keyed in on what he needs to do in the space that he's been blessed to be in. So I really appreciate that and stuff. But about a year ago, well, throughout my life, I've had, adult life, had a lot of pain and stuff here and there. Foot pain, back pain, and it's gotten worse over time. Then it went away. A couple of years back, I had gout real bad. I was really on the borderline, and I knew that I had to change the type of meats that I was eating, added turmeric into my diet because that's good for pain and anti-inflammatory, as well as ginger. So I haven't had any gout problems. And I mean, I've gone a long time. It's like, okay, like 3-4 years. Okay, no gout. I'm good, Yeah. And then one morning, about a year, a little bit more ago, I woke up and I just got hit with some pain in my foot that just wouldn't go away. Next thing I know, I'm using golf balls and tennis balls to massage my feet before I stand up. Yeah. Whether here at home or at work. I had golf balls at work that I'm rubbing on the bottom of my feet. And I was like, okay, this isn't right. So the first thing I figured, I said, let me go to a chiropractor. Maybe I'm just out of line. And I was. My back was out of line. Yeah. But as I'm going to share, that really wasn't the cause of the pain. It aggravated it, it accentuated it, but that wasn't the source of the
primary
pain.
cause. Yeah.
Right. Now, by me sitting incorrectly and trying to adjust to stop the pain caused a whole bunch of other problems. So I'm in the office with the chiropractor, and he has me coming in there, trying to get me coming there every week at about 50-something bucks a pop. And I'm like, that's with the discount and HSA and all of that. And I'm like, insurance. One day I'm sitting in there and he looks at my legs and he said, your skin's dry. And he said, that's because you're eating whole lot of omega-3s. He said, you got a lot of omega-6s in your body. Therefore, your skin's going to be a lot drier and cracked looking. I was like, in other words, he was saying I was ashy. Okay.
Wow. Break that down. Break that down for the folks that's listening, because I know, people hear omega-3, 6, and 9 are like, what's the variation? What's that the distinction?
Yeah. Well,
break it
basically,
down quick.
what I found out, basically omega-3s is key to anti-inflammatory. It is the key component to stop having pain. Just completely, you want to get out of pain, eat more omega-3s. Wow. And I had told him at that same visit that when I ate some salmon, some wild caught salmon, not the farm raised stuff.
Right.
I said within 30 minutes, a lot of the pain in my back and my foot was gone. He said, oh yeah, that's the omega-3s.
Wow.
And he said it's
30 minutes.
Nonchalantly like, oh, everybody knows that. I'm like, wow, I didn't know that. So I started looking into it a little bit more, and I'm like, okay, yeah, this probably is what it, is supposed to help out. Mm-hmm. Well, in looking at trying to figure out why my foot was hurting, I ran across a product called black seed oil. Mm-hmm. Black seed oil, as everybody has told me, all the herbalists that I've listened to, and even here in the Tidewater area, they said it cures everything but death.
Wow.
And
we still working on that one.
Yeah.
But that's close enough.
So like this here is what it looks like. I get the big bottle of it. My wife, she don't like the taste of it, so she gets the pills and everything. And the brand that I typically deal with is Amazing Herbs, which is on Amazon and at a lot of local health food stores. Now, real quick, let me tell you, black seed oil is getting so popular. Mm-hmm. The first time that I bought this size bottle, it was only 58 bucks. Wow. And people are like, man, that's a lot, 58 bucks. You can get it off of Amazon now. The price done jacked up to almost $100.
My, double. Wow.
Because everybody has realized this stuff works. People put it on their hair, on their skin. Mm-hmm. You can put it in your nasal passages to deal with mucus, everything. I mean, I've done a lot of research and listened to a lot of people, and it helps. So I started doing the black seed oil, and immediately to me it was immediate. Within 4 days, a lot of the pain left. Wow. So when I took omega-3s, the pain was like down here, okay, good. I'm way out of pain. But when I took the black seed oil, that pain went way down.
Wow.
And I was like, cool. And then when I took both of them together, that just accentuated it even more. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to do this. I guess I'll just be on black seed oil, omega-3 for the rest of my life.
Wow.
Well, a couple of people have been making mention about this new documentary called What the Health, and about all the food that you can eat, well, really what you shouldn't eat and how bad the government is. Mm-hmm. And I don't really care for those documentaries because it's like they're trying to do this rallying cry, getting you all hyped up to protein. But at the end of the day, a lot of times they don't really give you the keys to successful eating and living. They just keep saying, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that, but they don't really break it down. They just, for the most part, just give you a whole bunch of facts and figures, but no real substance.
Right.
So I looked at the documentary, and my wife would tell you I was a little ticked off because it was exactly what I thought. 90% of it was about how bad the government is. And then about 10%, a little bit more was, hey, eat a plant-based diet and you'll be healthy like these people.
Right.
But in the documentary, they never showed what the plant-based diet consisted of. They never showed any of the foods. They never showed the people who they said was eating it. So I'm like, okay, well, what good is that?
Right.
Now, the people did look better. They did look healthier. They wasn't walking with canes. Yeah. I said, let me investigate it myself. And all of the sites out there that talk about plant-based diet, They all are trying to get you to do your own, this meal plan, spend money and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
You can cook the stuff yourself. You
Right.
just need to know what it is.
Exactly.
So I stumbled across a documentary called In Defense of Food, which is on Netflix. All of these are on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
In Defense of Food broke down what you can and what you can't eat and why and what it does to you.
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay, that's better. Now I have a clear understanding of why people are saying don't eat these things.
Mm-hmm.
And then I looked at one called Forks Over Knives, which broke it down even more.
Wow.
So back in July 13th, I decided I'm not going to eat meat anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I just went cold turkey. Once I understood what I needed to get, I went to the store, found it at the local Walmart and Kroger and all of that. They have protein blends of vegetables with lentils and couscous and all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought a bunch of those, bought some broccoli, brown rice.
Yeah. Name those brands. I remember those brands you mentioned. Name the brands again. You recall the brands that
Bird's Eye.
Bird's Eye.
Yeah,
and I think there
Bird's
were
Eye.
a combination. I think you had a couple of selections that were something Mediterranean and Southwest.
California blend. Yeah, they had a California blend. They had a Southwest, which has a little peppery taste to it. And then they had a Hawaiian blend, which has pineapples in it. The Hawaiian one I like the most.
Wow.
That
and that's
really,
the plant.
really
and it was say again, it was a plant. I know it's plant-based, but what was the combination? What was the medley again called? It's Bird's Eye.
You had lentils, regular beans, couscous, broccoli.
Brown rice, was it brown rice? One was brown rice, did you mention?
Well, I ate the brown rice separate.
Okay.
Yeah, the brown rice. So I would eat the protein blends and some brown rice. I would eat those two, and that would keep me full. And if I didn't have the protein blends, then I would get some Brussels sprouts.
Okay.
And I would eat some Brussels sprouts. So I would eat a good portion of vegetables along with some brown rice. And I found that really kept me full. And I didn't have those hardcore cravings. So I said, okay, good. This is working. So until yesterday, I hadn't eaten any meat. And I ate a little bit of meat yesterday because I had cooked some for the boys. It was some organic chicken. And they hadn't eaten it quick enough, and I didn't want it to go bad. So I said, well, let me see how my stomach handles this.
Right.
And it didn't hurt, but I will tell you this. After eating it, I didn't feel full like I did when I ate the protein blends. And I've even gone to where sometimes at night I would eat oatmeal instead of even the protein. I'll just eat a bowl of oatmeal, and that'll keep me full. And it is a mental thing, too, because I grew up, you eat breakfast, lunch, dinner, and after dinner, you always have a dessert.
Right.
Some cake and some ice cream or some cookies and ice cream.
Right.
And that was a big thing for me. So, and I will say this. Now, this was immediate. Within 2 days after I stopped eating meat, about 80% or more of the pain that I was feeling in my leg was gone.
Wow.
Now, during the weekend, because I don't do a whole lot, running around with work and all that, I don't take as much black seed oil. So I'm sort of dealing with a little bit more pain over the weekend. And I also do, got some side hustles that I do along with running my business. I do, as an independent contractor, I do delivery services and stuff for a couple of different companies. So I'm constantly sitting in the truck, getting out the truck, running upstairs and all of that.
Right.
And they had got to the point before getting off of meat that if I ran up a flight of stairs, I was wheezing for at least 5 minutes. I was holding my chest, couldn't breathe, had to walk down very, very slowly.
That's pain right there.
I wasn't going to keel over. Now, since I've been off the meat, the pain has been going out of my foot. I don't have to do black seed oil 4 and 5 times a day like I was. I can take a tablespoon in the morning and I'm good to go for the whole day. And to be honest, I'm actually pain free. I mean, I very rarely do I feel anything in me at all. And over the last couple of weekends, I've been able to run up and down the stairs while I'm dropping off packages and stuff. And haven't wheezed or anything. And I mean, incredible. And what's even better, I got skinny ankles again because my ankles are getting swollen. I don't like having fat ankles.
I hear you. Those cankles yeah.
I don't have it. I don't like that. You know, I look down, even now I look at my ankles, I'm like, yeah, I got skinny ankles. I don't have to wear them big thick tube socks.
Right. Or compression socks. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so once I came off the meat, I started sleeping better.
Yeah.
I stopped snoring. I started using an app called SleepBot, Sleep, SLEEPBOT, and that allows you to record your movement and your snoring and any noises around. And I did that for a week, and I said, you know what? I'm not even snoring anymore.
Good.
So without having the meat in my system, I sleep better. I got skinny ankles. I'm not wheezing, and I'm not snoring.
Wow.
And I'm not going to the bathroom in the middle of the night as much.
Wow. You know, on that note, you know, I know, of course, I had so much insight from you just being able to kind of go across the palette of all the stuff that you've already shopped. So you've already vetted a lot of stuff that makes it very easy. You know, the price, the accessibility, the utility of it. I mean, of course, your wife is taking the capsule, so I got it where people don't necessarily can't bear the taste. But with the meat, I know there's some folks out there listening to this thing like, yo, Griff, I love meat. You know, I got it. You going through your process and I see it, and you doing your experimenting, and you got plant-based, and you over here mixing it up with a little rice and oatmeal. But how do you address those who really, really like meat? Because it seems like it to me that there's things, of course, that may be issues in the meat that, of course, you need the nutrients out of it, but there may be some things that we're dealing with that we don't need. So how can you help the person that's saying, I love meat, so what do I still do? You know, I can't just maybe go, I ain't that tough, my will ain't that strong to keep eating oatmeal and plant blends.
I know. Well, what got me was because I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor or anything, but I do like to study science and listen to it, and I do understand the body makeup. When I was in school, I was big on doing anatomy, physiology, probably because my mom was a nurse and everything. So I got real big into understanding the body and understanding the do's and don'ts and what works and what doesn't work. Well, they broke it down real good in those last two documentaries that I mentioned about how omega-6 is based off of the way that they're growing or they're raising the animals, the chicken, pork, and beef, which is the primary ones, that based off of the way they're feeding them, the food that they're feeding them produces more omega-6s, which automatically adds inflammation to the body.
Right.
Okay. So that automatically adds it. And I even recently discovered that everybody's going to have omega-6s in their bodies, and you'll have omega-3s in your bodies, but your body loves omega-3s more. So what you have to do is reduce the amount of omega-6s, not necessarily jack up the omega-3s, but you reduce the omega-6s. And then those omega-3s that are in there can combat, because your body will automatically make more of it. So it can make more. Let's just say you have one omega-3 in your body, it makes 20 of them. But if you already got 20 omega-6s and those get reproduced 20 times each, you're never going to win. Your body's never going to win. So you got to reduce the omega-6 in your body. Well, one of the ways to reduce that is the meat, because a lot of the meat has omega-6s in it. A lot of the foods has omega-6s in it. Stuff like saffron oil, sunflower oil, cottonseed oil, and GMO-based canola oil is bad. Now, organic canola oil I found is good, but that saffron, sunflower, and cottonseed oil are the three main ones that are loaded with omega-6s.
Wow.
So you deep fry your fish, so that fish that has omega-3s in it, you fry with omega-6 oil, you're killing it.
In so many ways, you're saying it's the way not only meat is packed, but it's what's packed in the meat.
Right.
In so many ways.
So,
It's not what is packed in, it's what's packed in the meat, not what is packaged.
Right. Not the package, but what's in
What's
it.
packed in it. Go ahead, sir.
Right. So when I got to thinking, I said, now with these documentaries, they kept showing people in Africa. The people in Africa was eating fruits, vegetables, plant roots, all that kind of stuff, but they was also still eating meat. And I said, okay, if they're eating meat, like I always used to tell people, you say Jesus drank wine. Okay, what kind of wine? Was it fermented or unfermented?
Fermented, right.
Because that makes a big difference.
Right.
Okay. And most of the stuff we get off the shelf today at the local ABC store is all fermented. Right. So you can't go running around talking, I'm drinking the same wine as Jesus. Right. No, you're not.
Right.
So in other words, we're not eating the same type of meat that the Africans are eating or other countries are eating.
Right.
Why? Because our meat is basically corn and soy fed, grains that a lot of times are genetically modified. And on top of that, they're feeding the dead animals the animals that have died, they're going and cutting those up and reprocessing those animals into grain and feed. So if the animal that they're feeding them with has a lot of omega-6s in it, it's going to get more in it. So basically, the meat's going to have omega-6s. Well, I started thinking, I said, in Africa, they don't do that. The wildebeest, the hippo, the springbuck, the antelope, all of them are doing what? Eating grass.
Right.
They're eating the plants, they're eating the leaves, they're eating healthy, vitamin-enriched, omega-3 enriched, fiber-rich grass. So if that animal has that in it, that means its body's going to have more omega-3s. So that means when you eat that animal, you will get that in you.
Exactly.
I said, so that means I need to find better quality meat. So what I did was I went online and I said, okay, where can I buy unprocessed meat? Because they said
it's simple deduction. Yep, that's a very simple deduction.
Yeah. So they said we're processing the way we process it, the equipment that is used, the way we're feeding it, all of that. So I said, okay, let me find unprocessed meat. Somebody would have to be able to sell it, which means I go out there, cut a cow. They don't do any processing to it. They let it bleed, almost like what they do with the deer.
Right.
When they get a deer, they're hunting. He goes out there, and they don't even call it process. They call it what? Dressing.
Right.
Hang it up, cut it, bleed it out, so all the blood gets out of the veins and the muscle tissues and stuff. And then they basically freeze it, chop it up and freeze it.
Right.
They don't add anything to it, nothing. So I said, that's the kind of meat that I want. Well, I found a place called butcherbox.com. And prior to finding them, what led me to them was I saw a blog, and I can't remember the blog, but it was a little statement that the person said was, your meat being grass-fed is not 100% accurate. Grass-fed is not 100% accurate. I said, what do you mean? They said, you need to have grass-fed and grass-finished food. I said, okay, I never heard of grass-finished. So when I Googled grass-finished food or beef or meat, came up with, they raise the animal up on grass, and then when it gets to a certain maturity, they put it in feeding troughs and feed it nothing but grain, soy, and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Right.
So it doesn't finish its life cycle on grass. I was like, interesting.
Yeah.
So
I can see where that could be. Yeah, I can see
Right.
where that could be misleading. Where I see again the packaging on that meat, where it's grass-fed, organic, you know, and you got
in the early stages, but later on, it's not grass-fed. It doesn't finish eating grass. So let's just say that cow spends 6 months eating grass, but for the next 12 months till it matures to be ready to be on the butcher block, it's eating grains and stuff. So that right there is basically a 2-to-1 ratio of eating grains versus grass.
Wow.
That means, 18 months this thing been alive, and more than twice the time it's been fed grain.
Right.
So ButcherBox has grass-fed, grass-finished food. They have organic, free-range chicken, and then they have another product called heritage hogs.
Right.
A heritage hog or pig is what was brought over from England, the original hogs, not crossbred hogs. which means the flavor hasn't been bred out. So all of this, some people might say, man, that's a lot of information. You need to know this stuff so that you can make the right choice.
Right.
Because without it, you might wind up getting hurt in your body. So Butcher Box, and there's other companies out there, but Butcher Box actually allows you to buy, almost like those people in the Central Meat that come by in the truck, knocking on your door, trying to get you to buy a monthly meat package and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they do the same thing, but they just mail it to your house for like 120 some bucks a month, and you can stop anytime. So I haven't ordered it yet. I'm going to, but I'm still dealing with, just enjoying actually not being on meat actively.
Right.
But that's one option because I like the barbecue still, and I'm telling guys that I know that like the barbecue, if you're going to barbecue, get you some grass-fed, grass-finished, get you some heritage pigs, get you some better quality meat so that your customers and the people who you're feeding don't have to suffer all those ailments.
Exactly.
You see? So overall, that's what I've been doing, and I tell you, it has worked. I mean, I am truly pain-free, and I encourage anybody who's suffering from any kind of pain, any kind of ailments, any of that, to just try it. I mean, it works. I mean, it really, really works. And I've heard of other people saying that, yeah, coming off meat help. But I mean, I've gone down from, I was 258. I'm down to 249.
Nice.
So I'm losing weight. I will even say that I'm having more bowel movements because
getting regular.
My wife, I mean, I'm talking about if I did one a day, that was a lot.
Wow.
I mean, it was just one a day for me. Now it's like, okay, I got to go again.
Right.
And it really just started over the last week. At the beginning, the first 3-4 weeks, my body was still just once a day or whatever, maybe twice. But now it's like, okay, I'm hitting this bad boy about 3-4 times.
Right.
But I'm also seeing the pounds come off. And it's cleaning me out.
Right. Exactly.
And I'm like, okay, I'm seeing and feeling a difference. My skin's looking better, all of that. I wear socks. I don't have that line on my leg after the socks been on for, a couple of hours, which that's a sign of early diabetes and things of that nature.
Right, sir.
When you get that long-lasting impression in your sock, in your leg from your socks, and these aren't compression socks.
Right.
So I would encourage people, if you got a Netflix account, look at the documentaries, check it out for yourself. I'm not saying go vegan, even though what I'm doing is sort of vegan, because now I still do my dairy now because, I go to Lidl and get my macadamia nut cookies.
There you go.
So, I mean, the sweets I'm still on. I'm still on the sweets to a certain degree. But a lot of the meat and this thing that was causing me the pain, nah. Oh, and something else I forgot. I just started adding in more flaxseed for your omega-3s.
Yeah.
And I'm using it also as an egg substitute. So when I make pancakes with almond flour, I take the flaxseed, ground flaxseed, 1 tablespoon of the flaxseed and 3 tablespoons of water, mix that up. And most vegans do that as an egg substitute.
Wow.
And it is known to be a great egg substitute. It's packed full of omega-3s, which also aids in reducing inflammation and pain in your body.
Wow.
So that's what I'm doing. I encourage everybody who's looking at this to at least look into it for yourself. Check it out. I wouldn't be up here doing this, and DC wouldn't be having me talk if he didn't know that this stuff worked and that there was some real result. Because I know he looked at me and said, yeah, Griffin a little on the chunky side. He need to reduce some of his chunkiness and everything. So I put it this way also. Last week, I actually increased my wardrobe by 1 pants.
Wow. I
was down to only wearing 4 pair of pants that I can actually fit.
Right.
I mean, that's not that I got more pants in my closet.
Right.
But only 4 of them outside of jeans.
Right.
They can fit without me worrying about stuff splitting. And now I got 5 pair.
Look at that. Look
You
at
see,
that.
so, and I got 4 pair of pants sitting in my closet right now that I bought 4 years ago, still with the tags on it,
Mm.
when I was supposed to been losing weight, and I never did, and they never was able to fit on my little chunky behind.
Right.
And I'm thinking probably in another 3 or 4 weeks, I might be able to pull them tags off.
Right.
And
You might be
start
able to get in
wearing them.
that. Right. That.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
They from
Man.
they from Joseph A. Banks, so them pants weren't cheap.
Oh man, look at that. So of course, this is like, it's like the play on the words. What do you have to lose? Other than,
Yeah.
okay, think about it. You're going to lose some pain. You're going to lose some
Mhm.
inches. So even on that note, it's kind of like, what is stopping you other than reallocating your time to, of course, get yourself educated in the same way that you look. And so I'm sure you tried other different things, and that was still some time, but you didn't let yourself settle. Even I really can appreciate when you found one particular thing that was helping, it was kind of like, well, what's the next level? Because if you can kind of decrease or minimize, because I mean, $100 a bottle, when you talked about double that price doubling because folks are catching on, that's just the market. People catch on, then all of a sudden that demand goes up. But it makes sense to where now, of course, you're taking and utilizing where you don't have to use as much. Now just think where you would be if you were paying $100 a bottle and you was taking 5 times a day, and you didn't enlist the other different aspects. You just didn't stop there. And I think that's the thing that people should hear, that there's other options. I'm sure there's other menus that they can get into, more recipes, more information. You just get on that track and you just keep going. And of course, the rewards, and I'm sure the rewards when you talked about being able to sleep. I got it. There's some vanity things. Yeah, you're going to get in them pants, bro. You're going to, not wear your crazy socks or whatever. But I'm sure the value of being able to sleep at night, and even, of course, the demand of work, because I know you love working. That's the one thing that drew me to you. You got that side hustle next to the side hustle next to the side hustle. And so there's nothing, I think, more demoralizing and debilitating where I want to work, but if I can't, endure, I don't have stamina, I don't have energy, people who just, basic functional movement, that'll be a bummer after a while, where it's kind of like, man, I love the work, but at the expense of me being out of wind and joint pain and inflammation, how do I deal with that? So of course, that's something that's so practical that I think people can use. And what I want to do is, of course, I know what would encourage me to make sure that we would at least get this thing printed so we can have it in the archives, is I want you to share your heart sentiment, knowing that you got folks, I think it was back home, you had thought about, hey, you know what, I need to maybe, dial them up and share what it is that I'm going through. Because I already know, having, a life experience and knowing their habits, because I was there too, if I can kind of send out this shout, and I know, of course, you sent the public broadcast, and we're going to put this out, but speak something from your heart right into the camera so we can close this thing out with finesse, right to those people that you know. You don't have to mention their names, but hey, this is something I'm concerned. I want to, impart this to you, not tell you necessarily what to do, but to at least open up my annals and say, this is something I think that will help you. Go ahead and release that to your folks and loved ones and friends.
Well, to all my friends and loved ones, I will say this is something that you need to at least look at. Talk to your doctor, talk to your chiropractor. And I would have to say my chiropractor has given me more information about health than even the doctors. The doctors like, okay, want to throw me on some pills. And I'm talking about twice he tried to put me on what I call the fat boy pills. And I took the little fat boy pill. I wish I could remember the name of it. It was some blue capsule thing. And you know what? It threw my eating off so bad that I wound up going almost a whole day without eating. And I was like, I can't do this. I got to find another way to lose weight. And he told me that I was non-morbidly obese. I was like, man, just say it. I'm obese. Okay, stop trying to make it all
right.
And I said, well, if I'm that, I know people my age from back home that are dealing with the same thing. They may not talk about it like I'm talking about it, but you can look at the pictures. You can see them on Facebook and Instagram and stuff. and I know that in some cases they're hurting, you know. But I have to give them credit because they always got a smile on their face, so they're making it through.
Right.
But if you are hurting, if you got pains, if you got ailments, swollen ankles, toes, back, and all of that,
right,
I gotta say you gotta give this a try.
Mm-hmm.
You get the black seed oil, get the omega-3s, you get, you know, you come off that meat some,
right,
and give it a shot. I mean, at least try for your own personal health, because I am really, really feeling good. I feel great. I mean, I got some energy. A lot of people who know me, they know I'm up late. I'm sitting up here designing websites and
right,
checking client stuff. So a lot of times I'm up till 12, 1 o'clock in the morning and then get right back up at 5. Before, it was kicking my butt to do that. Now, not that that's a normal way of living, only getting 4 or 5 hours, but I'm getting good quality sleep now. And when I get up, I'm feeling good, refreshed.
fresh,
I mean,
yeah,
before it would take me an hour just to get going. Now I can hop up 15 minutes. Once I get my thoughts together, I'm ready to rock and roll.
right,
So if you are dealing with something, if you got loved ones who've been asking you to make a change in your living habits, I would say do so. And I know my wife wanted me. She would say, I want you to be around. My son's playing amateur golf, and, you know, he's looking to be a pro, and
right,
I want to be his caddy, you know.
right,
So I'm like, he wants me to be his caddy. I want to be his caddy, and I couldn't do it, carry a 50-pound bag on my back with pain shooting down my legs, you
right,
know, and I can't have that. So I encourage you to just take time out, look into this, ask me questions if you want. Y'all know how to hit me up,
right,
and I'll be glad to share what, you know, the information that I have. And again, if you do, great. If you don't, hey, you know, just do what's best for you. And you may be able to keep eating the meat as it is and
right,
get down to where you need to be and get the health levels that you want. But if you find yourself struggling doing so, give it a shot. Try for 2-3 weeks, see what happens. I've been doing it for going on 5 weeks now, and I've seen tremendous, tremendous results. And I won't, again, I'm not saying I'm a vegan. I'm not saying I'm a vegetarian. All I'm saying is I made a lifestyle change, eating healthier and removing some things that I now know what they are that are causing the problem and why they're causing the problem. And when those two kicked in, I knew this meat was bad, but I didn't understand why. And now that they've come together, now I can say, okay, yeah, because let's be honest. At the end of the day, people just say jump on this movement, jump on that movement, but they really don't break it down as to why.
right,
And once I understand the why,
right,
then I can get with it.
right,
We all know things are bad, government's bad, this person bad, the meat industry bad, blah, blah, blah.
right,
But now what are my options? Because if I get rid of all of that stuff, what are you going to replace it with?
right,
And one of the guys I like to listen to, Dr. Umar Johnson, a clinical psychologist,
mm-hmm.
he said simply this: when you take something away that is a habit for people, you got to replace it with something that is going to be equal to that habit that they got rid of.
Exactly.
And if you can't replace it, they're going to go back to doing
We're
what they were
reverse.
doing.
Yep.
So I had to find something that would be a suitable replacement to make my belly still be full without all of the bad stuff. And up until now, I couldn't find it. Nobody could really break it down without trying to get me to spend all of this money and just put blind trust into them and their product.
Right.
I want to know for myself. And now that I know, I can implement it in my life, and it is great.
Man, so much, man. That is like rich. And of course, that is like one of those things. I'm happy because I want to have you around too. I want to see you. And of course, this has been a long, I think, trajectory looking at how your children have been developing. And it makes sense. Okay, you at a pretty good age. You can be around. That's fathomable and that's doable. And so I know that that's bringing great comfort too, not only where I can at least, you can enjoy your life, but then those that you love as they're having their experiences in life to be able to know, okay, I can tag along. I can keep up. And so that's the thing that I kind of take away from that, because you took these things step by step as you're living, as you're learning. And I know we hear this term, knowledge is power. Knowledge isn't power. learning is power, because you had all this knowledge around you, but you went it and saw for yourself, tested it. So that's the part of the learning. Learning ain't always listening. Learning is applying and doing it consistently, and then progressing in that learning. And so I appreciate you, man, again, taking out the time on a Sunday evening to give this news that we can use, some heavy revelation, but really simple, practical, folks to just kind of take that next step. And of course, I hear that heart with family and friends. I'm going to encourage you guys out there in the fitness community to really listen to what Seben says. Not just me. This is a person every day, family man, working man, husband, father, brother, friend. This is not us pitching anything or selling anything, but if you can try just little things, small little changes, it doesn't have to be you trying to throw everything into the works. It's very challenging for most of us. We want to get so much involved and all this money and these resources. Just do one thing at a time, one day at a time, one selection at a time, and then see where that takes you, and then you can scale up. But most definitely, as Seben shared, that he's there and available, you guys give him a call. He's out there in the Ethernet. He's on the Facebook community. I'm going to share some links that we shared during this conversation, this transformational conversation with Seben's story. We're going to put those resources in there for you guys to look for yourself, investigate, learn, and of course, experiment. And we want to hear back from you. If you guys feel like, hey, you know what? I can second that. I can third. And right there where Seben is, I took it in. I want to hear from you. I know Seben would like to hear from you if you're close friends and family. Respond, put some comments here in this post when we put it up, and I'll have this on Facebook. We want to hear your story. We want to hear your strategies, your hacks of what you may have used. You may be young, you may be a woman, you may be an athlete, you may just be an everyday mom, grandma. We're all living. And so we all can learn from each other. So, of course, I'm thanking you guys for being in the space. This is DC James, the head coach with Head Coach 24/7, coming at you guys with transformational strategies and stories from this podcast. And so, of course, we'll have this posted. You guys can replay it and use it over and over and download it. And, of course, share it with others. It'd be just too selfish to keep all this knowledge and information and these, I believe, things that are helping, so that we don't hurt no more. And so again, Seben, thank you, man, so much coming into space. I can't wait to see you with maybe 6 pairs of pants next time.
Yeah, man. Yeah. That's what I'm gonna be doing tonight. I'm gonna actually go in there and test out and see where I'm at. Just so people can know real quick. Yeah. I'm trying to get down below a 40. All the pants that I want to wear are 40 and less. I'm actually over 40 right now, and I got to get down to the 40s. Okay. And I get down to the 40s, that opens up about 20 pair of pants.
Wow. So we may have to kind of put that on display. I may take some pics of you inside the new slacks.
I know.
Well, this is, again, DC James signing off. And again, thanking Seben Griff, as we call him, being in the space here. All the best to those who are out, again, living, learning, also work hard, enjoy, and again, much love from the camp of Hey Coach 24/7.
You've been listening to the transformational conversations of DC James, the head coach.